Hi everyone, so today we're taking a look at a set of Bluetooth headphones by Ausdom. Now, big thank you to Ausdom for sending these out to me. This is the model M06 and it retails for around £35. Now, as I have mentioned many times here on this channel, I am really fussy about headphones. In fact, I spent 3 months testing every available set of headphones I could find, trying to find some that really sat well with me. And over the years, I've found very few Bluetooth headphones that I would give a buy rating to, for a number of different reasons. So I was very interested to take a look at these Ausdom ones because the quality looked good, the price looked good, and the specs also looked very, very good. Now let's have a look and see what we get in the box. Now, obviously, we've got those all-important headphones themselves. We also have a micro USB charging cable, a 3.5mm jack to jack in case you want to plug directly into an audio source, and obviously the manual. Now, just a quick mention, the manual doesn't tell you how to repair the Bluetooth device if you already have it paired to another device, for instance. Quite a simple process, I will quickly show you. Press and hold the power button. After 2 seconds, you'll hear a powering on audio. And after a further couple of seconds, you'll hear a pairing audio. And you will then see this LED light here flashing red to blue. That means it's now available to pair. To pair it, as always, a very simple process. We go into Bluetooth and we run the pairing utility. Now in this case, we are actually already paired. So we'll just connect that together and it's done. Simple as that. So that's the pairing process. Really, really straightforward. And at that point, any audio you play on your device that's paired to this will just play through the headphones. Now, let's actually talk about the hardware itself, because they've done quite a nice job here. For starters, the band along the top here is really nicely padded. There's lots and lots of squishiness here. Normally with these over-ear headphones like these, what you tend to find is you get pinching occurring around these parts of the bands, here and here, here and here. Didn't find any of that. There's just enough curve and separation on the plastic with these cups that you don't get any of that annoying rubbing and chafing effect going on. Likewise, the cups themselves are incredibly well padded. They feel so good and snug on your head. No pinching again, and more importantly, they don't feel like they're kind of pulling away from your ears at any point. The sound quality is exceptional, although when we first got the device and we paired it up, we actually found that the audio quality was really, really poor, and I mean really poor. This is not an unusual effect. Let me show you why this happens though, because this actually is something that a lot of people don't realise. Now, smartphones and many devices these days have built-in EQs. Now those EQs can be built into the software app you're using, like Spotify or Google Music, or they can actually be at the hardware level, what we call a DSP effect. Now, essentially what we have on, say, the Galaxy S6 is kind of two aspects here. Let me show you the first one. The first one is the actual audio tuning tool directly built in to the Galaxy S6. Now, it's really, really important, it's really important that you make sure you actually do the adapt sound tuning when you get a new set of headphones, especially if you're on a Samsung device, because it's an option that's there. Now, what this actually does is it plays a range of audio tones through the headset that you will then say, yes, I could hear it, no, I couldn't. And what it will do is it will then work out what the response rate, effectively, of these headphones are, and it will make sure it plays the audio using the full spectrum available. It's a kind of very loose interpretation of what's actually happening here, but it gives you an idea. Essentially, what would happen if you used your old set of headphones with this device, you might only be using, say, that much of the available audio spectrum, as it were, the frequencies. However, having then used the adapt sound to set these up, you're then using all of the available. By doing that, you make sure that the headphones and the device are able to work together properly using the full range of audio available. Now, another aspect to consider is whether you have things like Sound Alive and Tube Amp or similar. A lot of the manufacturers are doing these now, and it is basically a way of warming up the audio, but bear in mind that it may not actually sound particularly good with your headphones. It's very much a trial and error. Sometimes some headphones will sound great with this particular technique, others will sound a bit muddled. What we found here is the Ausdoms were a little bit muddled. The bass on these headphones is exceptional, and because of that, there is this chance that it will bleed over the midtones a little bit. Well, quite a bit, in fact. But again, let's also consider the EQ aspect here, because it makes a big difference. Now we've actually set the smartphone up so it knows what the headphones are actually capable of, how much frequency they can deal with. We then need to consider whether the music we're actually playing back is being compromised at all because we've set the wrong EQ up. Now, this is something that gets mentioned to me an awful lot on my channel. People say I'm whispering. I'm not whispering, you've got 4K on your EQ turned down, usually. So, to actually do this, all we need to do, for instance, is come into Settings here, come into the Equalizer, and we've got the custom equalizer, or normal, pop, classic, or custom. Make sure you select the correct EQ for your actual music being played back. If you get this wrong, what you'll find is your bass may be too loud for the vocal may be too loud for the bass, the midtones, the highs, everything just becomes a muddled mess. This is not the fault of your headphones. This is the fault of the way you've not been keeping one eye on your EQ and setting up the device's audio properly. But anyway, just want to get that out of the way because I know it's going to get mentioned to me when people go and buy these headphones, then come back to me and say, you were wrong, these headphones suck. These headphones don't suck. These headphones are some of the best I have ever used, but only if you keep one eye on making sure your setup is correct. So let's get on to that audio quality, the all-important aspect here. The audio quality is fantastic. The bass is so deep and rich, it is just lovely, to the point where you can actually feel your jaw vibrating. That is gorgeous in my opinion. It does though mean that these headphones are very, very loud to people who are stood around you. There is very little shielding here. Effectively, a lot of sound is leaking out whilst you're using these headphones. I probably wouldn't find myself wanting to use them out and about in a public place, certainly not at high volumes anyway. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit antisocial. However, sat in your own personal environment, they are just gorgeous to listen to music on. They really are. For a set of Bluetooth headphones, these are stunning. We also have built in a hands-free kit as well. You can see that down here on the microphone, which is just this little microphone grill here, essentially allowing you to talk to your friends using either the phone or Skype or anything else really for that matter. You could also pair these up with a PC if you have a Bluetooth adapter in your PC. So there's lots of flexibility here on where you can use these headphones. I was really impressed overall. There's a lot that they've got right with these Ausdoms. I would have liked a little bit more shielding just to stop some of that sound leaking out a little bit more, especially from the back here, which is resonating quite a bit. But there's so much comfort here in how these headphones sit on your head, and the audio quality is just dreamy. It's really warm. And that's something that personally I appreciate no end. Now, like I say, EQ does make a difference. If you're willing to just fiddle around there, if you know the kind of audio you like listening to, you will find you can get some really, really beautifully rich, warm tones out of these headphones. Likewise, as I say, if you don't set things up properly, you will probably find these headphones and many others simply don't deliver the kind of punch you're looking for. For the price, the performance, the quality is really excellent here. I would personally, if I didn't know what the price of these were, mark these as around an £80 set of Bluetooth headphones, so at £35 they really are exceptional. Battery life has been very, very good so far. I've only had to charge it once, and I reckon I'm getting around 6 to 8 hours worth of battery life out of each headset charge. That's not bad in my opinion, and that's certainly good enough to get you through an average day, as it were.